Hi everyone, so we're going to start our beginning section here. It's all about experimental design, so how we understand experiments, how we write within them, and how we interpret the data. So today we're going to start with lab variables. So the first type of variable is going to be an independent variable. So an independent variable is going to be always abbreviated IV. So this variable is the one that is going to change between each trial. So it's also called the manipulated variable because you are manipulating it. You are changing it within the experiment itself. So again, you are changing this between each trial. So we're going to look at an example in a second. So there can only be one independent variable. This is really important to note. So when we are going to break down different experiments, we're only going to have one independent variable. And the reason for this is because if you change more than one thing in your experiment, you don't really know what you're testing. So we're going to start with an example about fertilizer. So if your independent variable is the amount of fertilizer you put on plants, you can't also change the amount of water you put with your plants, because then we won't know whether the amount of water or the fertilizer is helping your plants or hurting your plants. So again, independent variable is going to be the one that is changing between each trial. So our next variable is going to be our dependent variable. So this is going to be abbreviated dV. So this is the variable that changes because of the independent variable. So again, it's changing because of it. So it would be considered the responding variable here because it is responding to the effects of the independent variable. So this is what we are measuring for our results. So as we take a look through the experiment that we're going to use an example here, this is what we are measuring. So for the example of our plants, fertilizer is our independent variable, and our dependent variable is going to be the growth of the plants, because that is really what we're taking a look at here. So this is the measuring portion, or the responding variable here. Then with all good experiments, we need a hypothesis. So this is a prediction of our results. So what do you think is going to happen when you take a look at your experiment? So you're going to take a look at your independent variable, you're going to take a look at your dependent variable, and try to make a prediction of what is going to happen. And we're going to use an if, then, because statement. So again, using the same example here, we have fertilizer as our independent variable, so we are going to be changing that. And we're going to be taking a look at the growth of plants as our dependent variable. So a great hypothesis for this experiment is if I increase the amount of fertilizer, then the plant will grow taller because the fertilizer provides nutrients and food that the plants need to grow. So again, if is usually going to be what you're changing, so your independent variable, then is going to be your dependent variable, and then the because is your reasoning for it all. So the fertilizer is giving something to the plant, nutrients and food, so it's going to grow. Then we will also see a control group with most experiments that we do. So the control group is a trial that does not receive the independent variable. So again, we're going to see, for our example with the plants, if we have a control group, this group will not receive the fertilizer. So this is going to be used for comparison to verify that your independent variable actually does something. So in the example of our plants again, the plant that does not receive any fertilizer, we're going to see if that hinders or helps its growth. If there is growth on both, the same amount of growth on the fertilizer and the plant that did not receive fertilizer, then we know that the fertilizer really doesn't do too much for the plant. And last thing here is going to be constants. So constants are things that do not change in the experiment. So examples might be the amount of water it gets, the amount of sunlight that it gets, the type of plant, the location, size of the container. All of these things are important in our experiment because they might be things that could change how the experiment runs. So keeping these things constant allows us to have a nice controlled experiment with very clear results here. Okay, so if we have any questions on any of these different terms that we see here, please let me know, and I will answer those for you.